All right, so it's this is what a lot of you guys have been waiting for. You're literally yelling at me in chat about it. So there was a roadmap roundup yesterday evening for me, so I didn't see it until now. So I briefly caught you guys because I was arguing with somebody in my Discord, I think, when it was posted, and then I immediately left the Discord, so I didn't pre-watch for you guys. So I know a little bit just from general context of Discord things, but I don't know too much about what's here. So people seem generally excited about it, though. So here we go. Roadmap Roundup, July 26th, 2023. Yeah. The following deliverables have been added to the progress tracker. Immediately loses my interest. Immediately loses my interest when I see that specific statement. Is there a way for me to make this so big that there we go. So my camera's not in the way, I guess. So we'll make it smaller instead of bigger. So the following deliverables have been added to the progress tracker means that they don't have a patch that they're willing to share with us. They don't have too much information that on timeline. So it's not something they're actively working on now necessarily, or maybe, but they're not ready to show. And there's so much opportunity for this to fall off. So everything that's here is to immediately be taken with a grain of salt. And that's unfortunate because just seeing the titles without even reading the descriptions, a lot of this stuff looks very exciting, okay? Right away, steal evidence mission. I imagine this is a Lars mission. Criminal mission type where the players are tasked with infiltrating security post Korea and stealing files from Crusader security for a hefty payout. Simple mission, right? Nothing crazy, but also like totally makes sense and is cool. Love that. But again, will we see it? I don't know. It's definitely not being added to release view. So unfortunately, this is making 320 look very underwhelming. New missions, cargo hauling. Huge. Now, I will tell everybody again and again and again as we go over this, Elliot Maltby, I'm Kwaku in the Twitch chat, loves delivery type missions, all these things. I think we're in very good hands because I believe he's the one who's doing the heavy workload on these. And I think somebody who really loves this type of gameplay is the person who's designing this type of gameplay. So if you're really into cargo hauling, really into the delivery missions, you have somebody who's just as passionate working on the game for you instead of somebody just doing their day-to-day job. You know what I mean? So that's really, really good. Making the use of the freight elevators feature. So that already is like a caveat. Oopsie. Oh, no. This mission type will have players hauling large quantities of cargo to earn both Alpha UEC and reputation. Okay. Cool. New missions, steal and recover cargo. Steal and recover cargo missions will see players recovering and or stealing cargo from both derelict and active ships, then hauling the cargo to its intended destination. Okay. Restoration contracts. This is interesting. Using the repair functionality of the multi-tool salvage attachment. Bro, have they used that thing? Players are... so how many... Dude, how many little salvage containers am I going to need? Players are tasked to restore ships from bow to stern, patching up the hull, replacing missing or faulty internal components, and replacing weapon loadouts in new salvage yard locations. Okay, serious feedback on this one. The way we create the salvage canisters and the way we fill them needs to change. Right? So from the repair part, they all need to take a look at feedback on there and like, I don't know, like filling your glass of water under, or a soda or something at a machine is sort of how I would like to see it, and it fills up the proper amount, and it doesn't take more than, you know what I mean, than what we currently have, where there's this vast difference between the amount of material it takes when crafting something versus if you were just to buy it, right? For the value of the material and stuff. But the big thing here is replacing missing or faulty internal components, replacing weapon loadouts in new salvage yard locations is very cool. Also, new salvage yard locations. Can we make the current ones we have as functional as they can be? I hope. We don't need new ones. We need the ones that we have doing cool stuff. And then reputation shop discounts. Players have the ability to receive discounts in certain shops based on their reputation with affiliated organizations. I am very much excited for this. I think that that's really cool. And yeah, it's just it kind of starts creating that purpose that you want to see in the game, right? And I love to see that. So reputation hostility is another thing I like to see. Players will encounter AI that are either friendly or hostile based on their reputation with the organization and AI that the AI belong to. This also includes different friendly fire thresholds and defense responses. I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but apparently this is currently in the game with Security Post Korea. If you have max security rep, SPK does not fire at you, even if you're trespassing, apparently. And then reputation, sandbox triggers. This feature will allow for players to have their reputation increase and decrease with organizations based on their actions in the PU, separate from missions. This in turn will allow or prevent players from accepting missions for particular organizations. All you people who think piracy is too easy, here you go. This is now putting that struggle on pirates, I hope. Elliot says, yes, it's a bug, though. The system is kind of in, but not finished. There you go. The Korea thing is something we didn't intend. I'm glad it's there. I think it's kind of good. But hey, sometimes bugs are good. Yeah, consequences for doing criminal actions. The idea of going to prison and having, coming out completely reformed every single time is a bit odd. So these sandbox triggers, I think, are going to be very, very important. And I think the players, which are probably an overwhelming majority of the players playing now, seem to be wanting to pirate in some way because it's the most engaging and most fun currently for a lot of people. But I imagine the choice will now come into play with something like reputation sandbox triggers. I just hope we get them, right? So we're now through the progress tracker thing. But again, while all these things are cool, they are not as exciting because they are just a progress tracker update. It's not a 320 thing that is like, oh, hey, surprise. It's hey, by the way, right? This is something we're thinking of working on. Is more what it feels like to me. Whether it's actively in progress or not is irrelevant. Until it has a card on release view, it means nothing to me. Nothing, right? And even then, it might mean nothing. Because it still has a chance to fall off, right? So progress tracker updates, always grain of salt. About them. Physicalized cargo updates. This is for release view, so these things matter. Adding new functionality to accommodate the release of the Missed Hull C. Okay? This includes both automated cargo loading at Lagrange point stations, as well as SCU containers up to 32 SCU. Okay, so confirming larger containers is a thumbs up, but one thing that is probably going to be learned in Evocati and leaked, or in the first wave PTU, is what will we be trading station to station? correct me if I'm wrong. I have not done much cargo hauling and have not followed my regular cargo hauling YouTube channels that I actually love to watch, and I should probably jump back on them because they haven't been. I think one of them's like Alpha Gaming or something like that. I think it begins with Alpha. But stations don't buy anything, and they sell very little. So for the Hull C to really be interesting and exciting for me personally, again, I don't want to say for everyone. I found myself saying for us or for we or things like that. For me personally, I want to hear or see, because maybe it's something they don't want to say and want us to explore, is the idea that stations are now buying and selling more items, because the Hull C can only go from station to station, right? That's the only thing that is there. And that isn't great. So it's like scrap and what else? Scrap and waste are the only two things. If we're only trading scrap and waste, but you trade them between stations, like where do you sell them? We know you can buy them there. So we need more. I agree. Oh, Muldan gives maybe ice to make water, maybe oxygen, maybe fuel, right? All those things would be fantastic. What if you went from a refinery station and purchased quantum fuel and sold them to the stations where lots of people are purchasing quantum fuel, like the ones directly above the planets, right? So for me, this is sort of a disappointing update around the Hull C, but I'm going to hold on to my excitement that there's a possibility that we could be trading logical things between stations. But more importantly, there's certain Lagrange points that specialize in things, right? And that is the refineries. And that's where I think we can do the most sensible things with what we currently have, and then add things more like water, atmosphere, stuff like that. That could be potentially traded, right? Because right now we don't have ice mining or thing. We need it, but we don't have it, right? So that'll be great. Then next is the Crusader A1 Spirit. Now, this is where a little bit of info was leaked to me. I'm going to have to scroll up way in my Discord. So building, balancing, and implementing Crusader Industries Light Bomber. Let's try to find this very quickly. I'm going to scroll up as fast as I can because this is hilarious. But I'll touch a little bit more on the space stations for me. The Hull C is cool. It's going to be cool. They made it sound a lot like they don't really know what's going to happen when the Hull C comes in with us. And I am very concerned with the fact that there's not going to be a trade economy with the ship whatsoever. It's going to be very much God, my Discord is so active. This is not, trying to get you guys to join it or anything, but it is. I have to scroll up so much just to get to yesterday afternoon. I'm at times so proud of this Discord, and at times just want to never look at it ever. But I'm almost there. I'm almost there. There it is. So, the Crusader A1 Spirit was posted. And this was immediately posted in our Discord the moment the roadmap update came out. And I died. Morph is not impressed. Okay? More bombers. Morph does not approve, dude. He does not like that. Hardly even funny took an hour. Listen, man. Okay? What do you want from me? I wasn't prepared. And it is funny. All right? You just don't have a good sense of humor. All right. Then Crusader platforms new missions and retrieve consignment. Unfortunately, due to several issues with Rastar while setting up locations, these two deliverables did not pass their final review and need additional work before they're released to the live servers. Therefore, these features will remain tentative on release view and now target a 3.20 release while remaining in the 3.20 column. That sucks, but also was probably the least exciting out of all the mission or anything that was possibly coming to 320. I mean, honestly, I would take Arena Commander updates to these Crusader platform things. Nothing too crazy. Didn't really care or whatever, right? The A1 Spirit is kind of like, what? Again, why are we making bombers without things to bomb, right? It's kind of weird. You would think that there would be bombing missions that would come with ships that have bombs. You know, hey, bomb this caravan over here or something, right? And it never became a thing. So super weird. But at the same time, it'll still be cool. I think everyone sees an A2 and it's a sweaty thing. But I always expected ships to come with like not just PvE aspects to it, where currently a lot of the A2 stuff is just PvP and not PvE. So, yeah. But that's the roadmap update. Again, a lot of cool progress tracker updates, but all to be like very cautiously optimistic about, or not optimistic about at all that all this stuff is going to make it in. But the mission team seems to be really getting their gears going. So at the very least, the positive we could take from this is there is a lot of things happening over with the mission team, and we love that. But again, progress tracker update, so it's kind of whatever. And then for me, the whole there needs to be more than just this automated cargo loading thing and SCU containers, although the SCU container confirmation is big because it says up to 32 SCU containers, because we've seen the 32 SCUs. We obviously have the one SCUs. So for me, very big roadmap update, but very, very forward-facing one, right? Not very current, and it's setting expectations that are potentially setting up for failure. But let me know, I guess, what you guys think about it. I started recording again. I forgot to add the additional context to the video. So, friend of the show, Xperia, or also known as Hannah, tweeted at Elliot, who's in chat now, and said, super hyped for these missions, which is cargo missions, I think. I have a question. Will player cargo missions tie in with lawful/criminal steal and recover missions? This would make for really cool engagement with PvP. And he says it uses modular cargo logic. We have built for logic. We have built-in logic, I guess. So it does technically tie into it. We want PvP, but for Tier 0, it's not the plan. However, players can try to ambush the shipping lanes without the mission and take the cargo for yourself. Awesome. All of us pirates were worried that cargo from shipping missions would be unsellable and not worth going after. Can't wait. This was from the previous update. Remember that first piracy update a while back? Where they said that cargo mission items would be different and not as valuable as commodities or something like that. Elliot now confirms that they are commodities. I want it up to the hauler to manage cargo. If they lose it via mismanagement or piracy, it's their fault, and we'll give them a reward for whatever they delivered, if anything, and then hit their reputation appropriately. So I actually liked the previous idea around certain missions being not commodities. It sounds like whoever works on commodities decided not to add them or whatever. But I do see, like, for example, what I would have liked to see from the Hull C would be soap, or deodorant, or food, or many things that are, they're not commodities that people are producing and trading, but they are things that cargo haulers would get paid to cargo haul, right? And so you're not going to steal those. It's very much like, think about barrel today. If you're into piracy, you come across a ship full with barrel, and you may not feel like it's worth your time because the gold hauler might come next, which is worth your time. And there's a little bit of a give and take there. Elliot's here. I don't know if he can add more context to that, but for me, commodities and with specific missions, I would love to see expanded to these. Hey, instead of soft deathing and wanting to move cargo out of this guy's ship, I would love for more situations for a trader to, if you're getting pirated, they search your cargo and see that it's soap, and they go, all right, we're going to hold you up for 15K or 100K or whatever. And then instead of actually stealing the cargo, it's not really worth their time to steal, but maybe they can, decide to pirate you in a different way, the old way, which is actually communicating with people. And because there's a hit on reputation now, players are not going to want to lose that cargo, which is, I think, the key part of this conversation. And then you have the hauler willing to actually engage with the pirate. Not that this situation would come up that often, right? Elliot says, my hopes are pirates scan you and decide to pirate you based on what you have in your hold. Some cargo won't be worth the hassle to engage. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I would like to know, obviously I don't think you could say it today. These missions are very far out, but I would like to know what commodities at what levels are being hauled and things like that. And I think that there's a lot of good possibilities there. I think would be really cool. Maybe they are like, will we let you, we'll let you go if you pay us 10K. Exactly. So like for me, if you're moving deodorant, nobody's going to want to move 100 boxes of that now that we have 16 SCU boxes or 32 SCU boxes. Maybe that's a different story, right? I know that I work right now with a piracy org that when they get a full thing of barrel, they'll pirate it and sell us the piracy, the pirated ship, and then we move the boxes as an org that loves logistics. They don't love it. They sell us it, and then we go from there. So that could still happen here. Regardless, that's still way more engaging content than is currently happening. And yeah, I mean, we love that gameplay. So I'm super hyped for this, and the additional context is awesome, especially with saying we want you to scan the cargo and go, yeah, this cargo isn't worth pirating completely. We'll let you go for a little fee here, buddy. Be on your way. Would love to see that. Again, awesome stuff. And, but again, very cautious around how I feel about it.